Hi, it's David Perlmutter from QuantumListing. Today we are going to be talking with Andreas Senie from CRE Collaborative on the state of the CRE tech industry with CRE Collaborative and QuantumListing. So thank you for joining us, everybody, today. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you. In addition to being the founder of QuantumListing, I am also a commercial real estate broker, and I started QuantumListing because of my frustration with the various services out there. I won't name them, but I think you know where I'm going with that. And I hope you'll all give QuantumListing a try if you haven't already. And our co-host, or our guest today, is Andreas Senie, and I believe he is on the line now. There's Andreas. He's the founder and CEO of CRE Collaborative, Inc., and is, like me, a real estate broker and comes from a family of real estate entrepreneurs for multiple generations. Andreas, are you there?
I am. Thank you, David, for the introduction, and everyone. I apologize for being a minute or two late. As David mentioned, I come from a long line of real estate developers, real estate attorneys. I, however, built and managed my brokerage here in the Northeast, and my wife runs it, EAC Properties, one of the first hybrid brokerages, effectively a commercial-only division running in a residential shop. And I was the guy with the original iPad, building my business, taking business from much more established big box brands, thanks to technology. Since then, I've identified a need in the industry, and that's how CRE Collaborative was born, was to solve this need. And working with people, I've always collaborated, as has David, as have most of you if you're in the real estate business. We collaborate on deals. CRE Collaborative is a digital extension of that. It's getting the technologies to talk to one another. David, if you would, let's kind of walk them through and then take some questions.
Okay. Here's our agenda for today. We will be going over the different features of CRE Collaborative, and Andreas will be walking us through that and give you a good idea of why we need the CRE Collaborative. One thing I will say that just before I got on the webinar, I went and looked at cretech.com, which is a great resource if you're looking for commercial real estate tech or looking, to get informed about what's out there. And on that site alone, there's over 900 different commercial real estate technology companies. And Andreas, I think you've told me that there's closer to about 1,600 or so commercial.
6,000. Well, 6,870 something.
Wow.
And that's worldwide. So Michael Beckerman's group, CRE Tech, and I knew Michael 5 years ago when there were 100, 200 technologies in the space, at least in the US. Michael does an incredible job on the CRE Tech side, specific to the US. Prop Tech, or Built World Tech, is a whole other animal which focuses on your smarter living, smarter tenants, property metrics and artificial intelligence. And that's where you see a large bulk of technologies. Hold on, I'm just adjusting my audio to make sure those can hear me well. So then that's all in all, it comes back to the point of how do we make it all work together? And as we talk through the CRECO system, you'll see why connectivity collaboration is not only necessary, but it is the only way to move us forward into a tech-enabled environment. Working with QuantumListing and others, once you get that tech-enabled and your technology is collaborative, you can really go out and make more money. It's not just spending time doing this, doing that, waiting for return. It's having a process plus a computer, process plus technology equals improved performance, not process, oh, let me go log onto this technology to do that process. Everything should work together. And that's what CRECO does. It's an end-to-end technology enablement service for the commercial real estate business. Our platform aggregates your commercial data, integrated databases, listings, and becomes a search one and done portal holding your data. And that's tax data, that's sales data, comp data, everything that you have begun collecting in your business has a value, and that value is continuing to grow. As we slide down here, today, most companies, like me, like David, like others, probably log in. When I was a broker, I was up to 13 platforms a day. That's simply too many. And repetitively putting in the data in every platform is wasteful and causes errors, very simply. David, can you go to the next slide? So the way CRE Collaborative works with companies is we come in and we identify the real business problems that need to be solved. Where are there slowdowns in your business? Are you prospecting? Are you filling the funnel? Are you offloading, closing your deals? Are you missing deals with existing clients? Or is it just getting your distribution right and making sure you've optimized for success? We then get back to you a technology toolbox that will solve your business needs, made up of our partners and our dashboard like Quantum. And then we support you at an ongoing role for your technology so you can focus on your business. David alluded to it. I mean, CRE Tech has 900, Unisu and my platform have thousands. It should not be your responsibility to try and monitor that. Let us do that. And that's why CRE Collaborative is here. Go to the next slide. The Creco AI platform will let you do it yourself in the sense of search a market, locate owner info, sales info, access our commercial information exchange to find deals and track your market. As a QuantumListing member, your deals automatically exchange back and forth. So you get this added benefit of not only having it here, but having it there. And then through our system, you can push it out in other areas, which we'll cover shortly. Using the network side of our platform, you can identify by role, investor, developer, lender, owner, broker, and by geography, people you want to do business with and work to connect to them. And using the promote side, you can push your deals. Search, network, promote, the three simplest functions in the business, housing a plethora of tools. Go to the next slide, for your needs on demand. So in short, what do? We host your data. Whether you use paper, whether you use Excel, whether you use 10 systems or 2 systems, or just QuantumListing, we can host your data in a single place, truth, enhance it, and add to that data with our sources, our partners, and other data sets you may have, creating an augmented database for deeper insights. And we can connect your data to all your partners, so at the end of the day, all your data is your own. That value, that currency is yours. Bring it with you to the next transaction, to the next deal. Go ahead and skip to the next one. So, and I'll go through these quickly because the search function, as I outlined before, is nationwide. It is an aggregate of quantum data, our data, partner data. We've got over 23 million properties being indexed. Florida, New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, come one, come all, and take a look. This data is then coupled with our partners, so we offer real-time underwriting, visualization, funding, as well as feasibility and analysis, all of which are delivered to you at the property level. I'm at XYZ property. Let me see what else I can pull from here. What can I show my client? What can I do with this data? Moving down over on the network side. Slide. Network and networking, leveraging who you know, when you need them, how you need them, and what they do. The system updates in real time and is also sorted by role, location, assets, specialization. Upload yours or take advantage of ours. Or do both. One-to-one, one-to-many communication tools, all in platform, as well as some social tools. David and I know both our platforms excel in this area. Streamlined communication back and forth. It's very, very straightforward. And then lastly, the promote side. The promote side, next slide, is where you're going to push your deals not only to QuantumListing, to social, but to your property management software, to your underwriting software, to the next step in a transaction. So you're there with your data from end to end. Additionally, a favorite of our users is commission, back office accounting, CRM systems. Everything you use today that you're redundantly entering data in can all be connected. And all that data can be moved when you need it or available when you need it, more important. Can I grab the screen?
Yeah, sure. Hang on a second.
I don't know which screen. That's what screen
here. Okay.
So, in short, the CRECO AI system acts as a universal hub. You should see the CRECO logo here, center screen. It should have zoomed in. Has everybody seen that?
Yep.
So the CRECO AI system will allow you to take your data from your site acquisition level, public data, aggregation, identification, transfer it down into your CRM system where you can manage your relationships more effectively with the added benefit of having your data there, the property data. Then as you sign these deals, you want to get them to market, you're going to push them to listing marketplaces, to quantum listings. As you interact and look to close that deal, now you need to transact it. You need to underwrite the deal. Now that data needs to move again. Today, these are all desolate and disparate systems. There are a few partnerships, but the majority of companies can't connect because they compete. Using our technology, you can connect to what you want, when you need it, how you need it. More importantly, as the space continues to evolve, we will continue to advise and connect more and more partners. And that's the CRECO AI system in a nutshell. I do apologize. I do notice the audio is a little choppy, but we're available to walk anyone through as well as provide assessments to quantum listers and others moving forward.
Can I make your screen bigger?
I will send a copy of this. This mind map is actually interactive. It's on our website, and I can't make it any bigger, and it's not zooming in through this system, so I do apologize for that.
Okay, thanks.
What I will do is I'm going to chat this link to everyone, so you can actually see it and navigate from left to right, up and down, and zoom in on all the different technologies. Okay. Questions, concerns? I know that was a lot, everyone, but I find it's best to go broadly and then go in depth.
I think, Andreas, I think you need to go back to your screen again. We lost your video feed.
There we go.
There we go.
Now it's zoomed in. There we go. So we start here at site acquisition or identification. Then as you identify, you're going to want to attach that into your CRM, into your marketing. Then as you market the property, you're going to want to push it out to marketplaces or internet listing portals. Then as you identify prospects and you want to transact that property, you're going to want to underwrite it. If it's a development deal, you're going to need to fund it. And then develop it, actually build it. So construct, manage construction, billables. And then once the new owner takes over, he's going to want to maintain it, turn it into a smart asset, as well as improve the management of it, tenant, cohabit, resources, prop tech. The CRECO system allows you to hold all your data here, the CRECO side, and then the system connects it to each of the data partners on demand, giving you the fullest picture of the market while providing a new level of insight and depth that has never been before possible. As we can attack. So, having shown this, and I will push this over to everyone, let's just take a quick look at the actual system, shall we? And then, David, I'll turn it back to you. So, as I mentioned, relatively straightforward. Everything is built to function on a property. It's the one thing everyone in the industry understands. Once you log in, you're taken directly to your profile page. This is your contact card. This is your bio, who you're associated with. All your properties are readily available for you on this page, so you can instantly share them or promote them to contacts, whether on mobile or at your desk, one-to-one or one-to-many. From here, as a real estate professional, you're going to want to search your market, identify assets, monitor. That's where the search is instrumental to search by asset type, by sale, by lease, and so forth. So let's just do for sale as an example. Once you arrive on a property, you want to do your due diligence. You want more information. And by you, I mean any user, investor, developer, lender, broker, owner. Each user has different levels of access based on their own requirements. And by levels of access, I'm referring to these. Premium users can access the underwriting tools, valuation tools, demographics. Members of NAR access RPR for demographic reporting.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course. Go ahead. Did we lose him?
I think so. We can't hear the question asker, but if you want to put that in the chat box instead, that might be an effective way to get the question across.
Certainly. And while we wait for that, as you move through, you now have this at your fingertips. Now you've identified an asset. Well, what next? I've got a network. I've got to connect with the party to close a deal. So here is your network. Your private network is uploaded. It's yours to interact with. Or you can search our network, interact with CRE collaborators. Again, by role, by location, by asset focus. And lastly, you just want to promote your business, your property, or your profile. You can do so through the promote functions, because at the end of the day, we're just that hub, that universal connector, getting you to a technology or getting your property to the proper technologies, along with the team. I think we have our caller back. Someone coughing.
Yep. I keep it on.
Oh, so I'm just sharing it on mine. Yeah. And that's how the platform works. We welcome the opportunity to walk you through personally. You can also see a 4-minute explainer, everything I just said right here. And this page is where that mind map is, where you can see all the partners and all the different technologies. So I'm going to share this in the chat now for any of you. So partnerships with QuantumListing and others are instrumental in that your data is here. Now let's get it to QuantumListing. Through QuantumListing, what they focus on, and David, I'll let you speak to this, is connecting you direct to those buyers, to those other brokers, through that listing flow, through his services. So instead of entering it there in the MLS, in 12 places, you enter it in one. And that one place completes the record, helps complete the record, and then sends it to the next place. David, I'll give it to you at this point.
Okay, thanks, Andreas. So QuantumListing, for those of you that are new to it, is a commercial real estate listing service. We started about 4 years ago initially as a iOS app, and as we got into it a little further, we realized that people love their phones, but not necessarily to do data entry with. So we built out the full website, and it's been that was the experience of having started out as mobile first really has informed the way that we approach the website, and that we try to make things as simple as possible for our users, so that there's not a steep learning curve for getting comfortable with our system and for adding your listings. And in fact, we've made a few partnerships with other companies, such as the I'm going to take over the screen here. I wanted. Yeah, sorry, with such as Buildout and I'm just trying to get my screen back here. Hang on. Buildout and SharpLaunch, and there we go. So I gotta get. Oh, there we go. So and so if you're a SharpLaunch or Buildout user, you can syndicate your listings in an automated fashion, and as your listings are updated on Buildout, then they get updated on our system in real time. SharpLaunch does a little bit differently. They send things to us once a week. And for those of you unfamiliar with SharpLaunch or Buildout, they both have services that help you create your listing collateral, whether it's flyers, LOIs, your website. And they do both create beautiful things. In addition to pushing out to CRE Collaborative, we also give you the option to push your listings out to Levitt Digital, which has a network of over 500 websites around the country that will share your listings on those platforms as well. When you do add your listings to Quantum Listing, they're queued up to be shared to our social media, so we're pushing them out on your behalf to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Who are the primary clients to whom you sell the service? Are real estate brokers or landlords?
Both. I would say that there are probably more real estate brokers on the service, but we welcome both landlords and brokers on it. And we have over 4,200 registered users and active listings. There's about 18,000 plus or minus active listings. I would say that 85% of those 18,000 listings have been added or updated within the last 60 days. So our data is much fresher than on some sites. So hopefully it's more reliable and you don't have to fact check it as much as you might somewhere else.
Okay, so are the brokers, who are the primary groups they share your system with, that they use it together with?
I'm not entirely sure I understand your question. I think what happens, the brokers, well, first of all, you can use Quantum Listing to share your listings, to serve your listings to your website. So if you want a very easy way to have your listings on your website, you can use our system for that. We have something called an iframe, which is a little snippet of code that you paste into that. And I'll give Andreas a little bit of credit for giving us that idea a few years ago when I first met him. But we are going out to both brokers and owners and tenants. Our system is very search engine friendly. We get a large proportion of our traffic from Google searches. I think I read the other day that there's over 5 billion Google searches per day. We don't have as large of a chunk of that 5 billion as we'll get to, but one of these days we will. And was your question related to CRE Collaborative or to Quantum Listing? Because I don't want to try to answer.
I don't want to take too much time. I had to get away from what you were saying for a few minutes, but you said something about sharing. Who is that? Tenants that a landlord might share part of your system with?
Yeah. I mean, if you're serving your listings from us to your website, that's one very easy way. And we also have little buttons that you can use to, put your listings or your profile onto LinkedIn or Facebook or other social media platforms that you might be involved with. So, we really try to make it so that you can share it everywhere. One of our taglines is search for free, post for less, and share everywhere. And we certainly love hearing suggestions about things. If there's some place that we're not sharing to that you think is important, we would really solicit that input from you so that we can accommodate you.
So, and if I can expand on that, where the Creco AI, where Quantum would drop off and Creco AI would pick up, is in the sense of there are tenant platforms that you may deploy as an owner, or you may end up interacting with as a broker on behalf of an owner, where the tenants interact with the owner directly, service systems, things like that. And that's where our connectivity engine kicks in. At a high level, there's a dashboard with all the data. I wouldn't say it directly shares anything there's nothing that's going to be shared unless you want to share it. Let me say it that way.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I came in a couple of minutes late. So I have two questions. One is very general and one is a little more specific. The general question is, can you tell me in a nutshell, without getting too technical, what your value proposition is for both Creco AI and Quantum Listings, how they work together, and why as a broker I would want to use it? That's the general question. And then the specific question is, I have CoStar, LoopNet, Reonomy, Property Shark, RCA. I have a whole bunch of other platforms that I use, and why is this better? And what kind of bandwidth do you have in comparison to those platforms?
So if I'll jump in here, and you basically hit it on the head for me. Your time is the one thing we can't make more of, and the one thing technology is supposed to solve for. You just listed 5, 6 platforms you're using. That's 6, 7 places you have to put that data separately. My platform, the Creco AI platform, will give you a single source that will input or output all that data for you. In partnership with Quantum Listing will then promote it, just as one or two of the ones you mentioned does. How much time are you actually spending on all those systems?
Not much. I mean, when I need to look up an owner, Reonomy, for example, is fantastic at getting right to the actual true owner and real contact information, whereas other systems aren't quite as good. CoStar is, as you know, sort of the MLS of the commercial world, and it's robust and it's in every market. And I work for a big firm. I have a national account, so I can look in any MSA and find properties that are available. I can get pretty detailed analytics, which I have to do from time to time on specific requirements. Property Shark also provides certain things. Land Vision gives me land use, tax maps, aerial photographs. I can't understand what your program does. And forgive me for coming in a little late, but you guys got pretty down in the weeds technologically. And as a broker who has a limited attention span, I don't understand what your product does.
Between the two of us, we can do each of the things you just discussed, and then some. What I didn't hear was prospect now. I didn't hear email resolutions. I don't want to go back down in the weeds with you.
I had prospect now and I got rid of it, and it had a value, but Reonomy blows it away. So
Reonomy's the true owner information in Reonomy is recently updated, and this is an inclusive system. It's a different mentality. You shake hands with other brokers to close deals. That's what we're putting together, and that's what other partners are finding. Reonomy and CoStar and some others, Moody's, are all trying to find a way to do this, but there are a lot of technologies that just won't talk to one another because they're too competitive. And at least and David, I don't mean to speak for you, at least on the Creco AI side, that's what we solve for, is time. We come in, we manage those toolboxes. You're at a larger firm. They're giving you 5 things. They're saying this is what you use, and you pick them up when you need to. How do your listings get out? How does the rest of the flow work?
Listings go out on CoStar and LoopNet.
Okay, and not the other listing portals.
Such as?
I have a list here.
Yeah, let me just take a piece of that question.
Go ahead.
CoStar and LoopNet are terrific and have nothing
Nobody denies that.
to say, and the they've been around for 25 years. Their breadth of information is terrific. Um, However, you're a broker, you can get that information. Your customers, not so much. If your firm is paying for premium listings for every single one of the company's listings on LoopNet, then sure, every one of those listings is visible to the public. But to the extent that there's a limit on the number of listings and that are visible, we make all of our listings available to everybody. You don't have to be a member, you don't have to be signed in. If you come to our website and there's a listing on it that's an active listing, you can find it. If as in my brokerage capacity, because I had started a competitor to CoStar, they told me that I was no longer welcome as a customer, but they didn't take away my LoopNet. And what I see when I go on LoopNet now is, there are certain listings I can see, and certain listings that you have to be a CoStar member to see. And the ones that I can see are the ones where those LoopNet members are paying a premium for. Our
Yeah,
value,
so the general public, I agree, the general public can't see my listings unless I'm going through a premium listing.
yeah, and if you're
Hey,
50,000 square foot office deals or warehouse deals, that may be fine, and that may be all that you need, and that's terrific. For 99% of the brokerage industry, we're doing 1,500 foot, 5,000 square foot deals. It's very frequently that the tenant is contacting the broker directly, and if they can't get access other than by driving by your sign, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're not in a more open, your listings aren't in a more open environment. Uh,
So how do those people find you?
well, some of those 5 billion Google searches a day are for commercial real estate, and they're finding us that way. Brokers, we do email blasts, to about 40,000 brokers across the country each week. So we're, for better or worse, putting ourselves in their face a couple times a week. And what we do, we don't, at this point, we're not, and I know some services, do this, we're not emailing out individual listings, but what we do is we'll send out a blast for all of our brokers for sale listings, for instance. And when people click into that, then they can drill down to their own particular market so that it makes it a little bit easier for them to do that search.
So if Dr. Smith is looking for a new office, 2,500 square feet, how does he find you in a specific market? Because that's the highest return for a broker working in that size range, under 10,000 square feet. You want to deal with the tenant directly or the buyer directly. How do they find you? I've never heard of the company before, so
how did you get on this webinar? I'm just curious.
You guys sent me an email, but it's the first time I ever heard of it.
Okay, yeah, we've just recently expanded our email list, so thank you for signing on today and keeping an open mind.
No, I have an open mind, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to understand
your questions
what the value proposition is.
Sure. So, the fact that we are open to everybody makes so if you're you're starting your searches most likely on CoStar or LoopNet today, but your customers are starting their searches on Google, and that's where they're finding us. And many of our listings are showing up on the first page. We keep on improving our search engine optimization, and the more listings we get, the better we do with that. So it's an ongoing process, and it takes time, and we're getting there. And in terms of the value, for us, and I understand that your company probably pays for your subscriptions, but for those that don't, you can become a Quantum listing member. You get your free trial like everybody does. But after that, it's only $80 a year for an unlimited number of listing. So we're creating an incredible value that way. We're adding services in the next few weeks so that you'll be able to, if you feel that in addition to just people sort of searching and hoping that our listing is on that first page of Google instead of in the purgatory beyond that, um, we're going to have an on-demand advertising service. So for $50, you'll be able to promote a bunch of your listings on Google AdWords, which is the gold standard of online search. So
if I understand your heavy SEO, search engine optimization on the Google platform is part of the secret sauce here that makes you that's part of your value proposition.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I,
All right.
I think it's important to note there additionally, because we're open, because we're not masking. Google LoopNet spent a lot of money on Google AdWords, and they continue to daily, but a majority of their properties aren't shown. By showing these properties all the time, will automatically rank up. Additionally, it took them a long time to get where they are, and we're massively scaling at this point, which is why you're here on the webinar today. So again, welcome. And if I'm at all pushing back, it's in that I love the fact that there are multiple tools, and time is of the essence, and that you can jump in and out easily is a good thing. And to David's point, and he's right, the industry is evolving. They want to see what you're using, and they want to see what they can see. And CoStar, especially, they can't see. And it is the researchers there are great, but the technology that's available today through these other providers that are growing the crowdsourced data are going to provide a whole wealth of technology that CoStar over time just won't have. So it's a matter of complementing. Yeah,
I agree with that. CoStar is limited to industrial, institutional users and brokers, basically. So for the average buyer or tenant, they don't have access to CoStar, and most of them don't have premium. Most of the listers don't have premium listings. They only have a few in-house, and they use a few of those. But for the most part, you don't get the complete visibility on LoopNet, and none on CoStar. I agree with that.
Yeah.
What does
Can
AI cost?
Could I say something?
Sure.
Judging from after this extensive questioning, which the broker just submitted you to, what emerges is mainly you're offering better visibility through search engine optimization. That sounds like that was most of what your answer is.
So
the question of what your value proposition is, I'm not at all trying to be negative. I'm just trying to learn from this, from what you're doing today.
I think
that sounds like that's what it amounted to, because the other things you mentioned, other people, anyone can go on CoStar or use LoopNet or stuff like that.
I think that's good for quantum listing. I think Andreas's technology does more than that, in that if you're using multiple, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Andreas, but to the extent that you use multiple technologies in your business, Andreas's technology will make them all talk to each other and play nice with each other so that you don't have to jump back and forth from one thing to another.
Oh, that's very different. Thank you.
So essentially, you're saying that the Creco AI is stitching all of my various platforms together for me in a personalized way. So I only have a single point of data entry. But what about searching? So I would go to RCA for something completely different than I would on Reonomy or Property Shark or CoStar or LoopNet. So how does it work with searching as well as data entry?
Searching is growing. Today, we have demographics as well as underwriting, lending, loans, valuation, things like that. We're continuously adding to those partner databases. But we have 23 million property records that update in real time, courtesy of Atom data. which is akin to a core logic, if you're familiar with
Yeah,
the
very
people
much
at
so.
that.
Yep. Yeah, I know
Yep.
them. Yep.
So same concept applies here. The difference being by partnering with David, Quantum Listing, and all the others, we can then aggregate and I don't want to get technical, normalize the records and check everything and fill in the blanks so that you get a fuller picture, because one, we deliver it in the dashboard. And if you have a data source that I don't, it's your dashboard, it's your data, we'll pull it in. We'll map it and we'll pull it in for you and it'll be there. We build those so we can offer them to others, but whatever you subscribe to is yours. We just give you a single heads up display to see it all,
So,
to search it all.
So the part that I need to understand is, so how do you get access? So let's use Real Capital Analytics, for example. That's a fairly expensive platform. If I want to search my MSA for recent sales within the last 30 days, that's what they're great at, everything over $2 million. How do you have a relationship where I can do that same search through Creco AI?
You're their client, you're paying for that data. We can serve that data in our platform through their API. It's the relationship with you because they're servicing you.
Yep.
We can pull that data if we were to pay for it, but I don't sell that data. And I have to be very clear. We don't sell research data because I want all my users to be able to access whatever provider they have.
Yeah, I guess you're a hub. You're a hub, an access point.
Well,
exactly.
Right. Yep. Okay. So how, if I go on Creco AI with my account, how do you get access to my RCA account?
Your account, well, we use data as a service, so we open up either an API or a data as a service port where the databases can talk to one another, and what you see is your own. It's just added, appended, or my developers call it decorated data. We take the unique property. Every property in the US has a parcel number. We then add the additional data that's available, in your case, RCA data, on top. Because that's why we have a property search to begin with, is because you have to be able to search the US to find properties. From there, it's just added data. What you asked for is something that's already in the system. It's sales, for sale, for lease, or transactional. If you asked me for, census track loan, census track funding program, that's not quite there yet. It's not searchable, but we will connect you to the partner that does that specific thing, feed that partner the data we have so they can then do their job faster and get you back that report.
Are you going to be able to provide debt information on individual properties? Is there a single source of that? What is that, Morningstar or
debt information?
Yeah.
There are a few. Again, we don't provide any of it. The only thing we provide as part of our core offering is the owner name and the last sales amount.
Got it.
Because I don't want to compete with the others. But Morningstar, certainly, we're happy to connect, and we'll thrive on. We will configure it for your exact needs. That's what we're here for.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Great question.
Is there a phone number that I can call and have a more detailed conversation with you guys and not keep everybody else on the line?
My number's in the chat now, and I'm sure David will send his. And for the record, it's free to search, network, and promote. To the earlier question. It's 203-307-2242.
And
David, you can go to the next slide. It should be there.
Okay, you may be participating by dial-in. And
what does Creco AI cost? That was the one thing I didn't hear. I heard what.
It's free to join. It's free to search, network, and promote. When you start to access the additional data, that's when you're a premium user at $59 a month per member per user.
$59 per month. Okay. And, all right, I'm going to give you guys a detailed call and follow up on this. I'm interested. I just need to understand it all. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was great questions, and I really appreciate your participation.
Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Do we want to go back a little bit here? Sorry if
Yeah, we went left. Um,
But great question.
so
I mean, I think that added a lot to our webinar today, and it's nice to hear people's questions and what they're thinking, and to help them understand what we're trying to help them with as well.
and speaking of as we both kind of delved into what we do, and part of this conversation that we were hosting today was just to talk about technology in general. I'd like to open it up to the floor and ask, what are they using? What do they want? What are they seeing? I mean, I can continue to go through what we do. But as I said, we're customizable. David's here to solve your marketing needs, your portal needs, listing portal needs, and the add value of some targeted Google and SEO. But really, it's to the audience, what went in where. What do you think, David? Is it fair to open it up? Or do you want to go through your lead capture?
Until when we get somebody to raise their hand,
I'll keep talking. All right, you go, and I'll watch the chat.
All right, terrific. So we recently introduced a new lead capture feature, and if you are a premium member, there are a few different things that you can do for our lead capture. First, the basic lead capture is if you're a current subscriber, when somebody comes to your page, lands on one of your listings, then what happens is after 15 seconds, after they've had some chance to look at the information and some indication of interest because they're spending at least 15 seconds on there, they'll get a pop-up. The pop-up will have the information about that particular listing embedded in it already, and it asks them for their contact information and if it's okay to share that with the listing agent. So that's one thing. What you're seeing here on this screen is on our main landing page, and if you pay $10 extra a month, you'll be able to get leads that are generated from our landing page. So say you are a broker in Milwaukee and you want to get leads from Milwaukee for that $10 a month, you'll get any leads that come through our landing page sent to you. If there are multiple brokers in your market that are also subscribed to that lead capture, then those leads go on a rotating basis to them. So that is something that we recently introduced. Here's a example of that lead capture form that they'll get. This is the one from the landing page. This is the one that would be associated with your particular listing. And if it's your listing, only you are getting that lead. So you don't have to worry that somebody's going to be able to reach into your pocket by paying $10 a month. That's not how it works. And then we are about to introduce, we're just putting some final touches on this, something that I think is really exciting. One of the reasons why some of these other services like CoStar or LoopNet are so expensive is they spend massive amounts of money on Google AdWords. And one of the reasons why we're not so expensive is because we don't do that. But we want you to feel that you're playing on a level playing field. And so you'll be able to use our service to promote either all of your listings or just some of your listings. You'll be able to set the budget. There's a minimum, because if it's too small a budget, then it just doesn't, it's not effective. So I think $50 is the minimum, and as you burn through your budget, we'll let you know, and you'll be able to reload. And if you don't think it's effective, then you're not going to. But instead of locking you in, first of all, you're not locked into a contract with us. You don't have to tell us 2 months in advance that you don't want to renew. You just don't renew. So there's no contract with us. And to the extent that you want to add lead capture, or to the extent that you want to help boost your listings by advertising them on Google, you can do that. There's a small, if you want your listing to show up at the top of one of our listing searches, I think for $7.50 a month, your listing will go up at the top of that search in your market. So what we're doing is providing a whole suite of ways that you can enhance the visibility, but it's really a la carte instead of a prefix meal, which is very expensive. It's really it gives you control. So it's like,
Well, it also sounds like you're buying exactly what you want to eat in your analogy versus feeding the entire audience as part of a group, right? So it's all about the profile or posting of the user, not the general market promotion.
yeah,
It's all user demand.
right. It's akin to Uber, where you don't have to own the car; you can just get the car when you need it to go where you want. That's what we want to do with some of these new services that we're in the process of rolling out. It's really the way of the world in the future and in the present, where everything is on demand. And we want it. We want it now, and we don't want to have to work hard for it. And basically, what you need to do with this is just say what you want to promote, and have your PayPal account armed and ready to go.
Well, that's first I'm seeing it, so I think it's an incredible add value to be able to promote when I need to, when I need to, with an established budget, and track my return on that individually, not as a generic, here's my subscription, what happened. So that is a, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And the tracking thing is a very good point, which I neglected to bring up, is that there's analytics that will be available for all this stuff. So you'll know, first of all, you're going to know if your phone rings or if you get an email saying, I'm interested in this property. But you can also look on your profile page in the information section at the analytics and see exactly how many views your listings are getting on Google and how many clicks they've gotten on Google. So you'll know if it's working. And if it's working, you're going to do it again. And if it's not working, you're going to say, well, it was worth a shot, but not this time. Kind of when you buy a lottery ticket or when you pay for advertising on anything, there's unfortunately no guarantees, but we will give you a shot at it. You got to be in it to win it, like they say on the lotto commercials.
Is there a charge for the analytics?
No, that's included with your membership.
Okay, in the QuantumListing membership.
That is correct.
Okay, and tell me what the demand advertising fees were again.
We're still finalizing that, but I think the minimum will be $50 at a time.
Per month?
Well, it's going to be $50 if you're listing. We're doing cost per. There's two types of Google advertising.
It's a pass-through budget. I think is important to note here. This is actually what Google needs to put them up there.
Right.
We're giving that. David's talking about the vehicle. Okay, good.
So there are two different types of advertising on Google. There's cost per click and there's cost per 1,000 views. Our system is using cost per 1,000 views. Cost per click, particularly if you're in a major market like New York or LA, you could pay $35 for one click on your ad. And it may be the guy for you, and it may not. If it's the guy for you, that $35 is well spent if you're going to pull in a $35,000 commission. But in most cases, it takes more than one click to bring in a deal. So we're giving you the opportunity to get it. And again, the cost per in different markets is varies, but it's much more reasonably priced to do the cost per 1,000 advertising than the cost per click advertising.
So the cost per 1,000, that's $50 per cost per thousand?
Well, it's the $50 is the budget that's allocated, and depending on your market, it could be $2 or $3 per thousand views. It could be a little bit more. It could be a little bit less. That varies, and that's something that's set by bidding on Google. It's not
So
set.
I'm buying $50 worth of Google advertising, and that may vary from market to market what that actually gets me.
$50 minus a little bit of a vig for us because we got to make money too.
Yeah. You don't work for free?
Oh,
Like us brokers do,
yes,
90%
I'm a
of
broker,
the
so I
time?
do work for free except for when I don't. So
We're
Hey,
paid
could
on
you put your
success.
phone numbers up on the screen again? They were up there for a minute. I didn't get a chance to write them down.
Yeah.
Cell number and another.
hang on. Mine is unfortunately not on one of those slides, but I will tell you, and I will speak very slowly because I leave a lot of phone messages when I'm canvassing. So my phone number is my direct line is 914-470-5719. Again, 914-470-5719. That's David from Quantum Listing.
Okay, great. And the last one is 556-0760.
What market are you in, David?
I'm in the New York, Long Island market.
Oh, terrific. So we're practically neighbors.
Practically. I saw the 646 call-in number, so I figured you were not too far away, Queens or something.
Yeah, I'm in White Plains here.
White Plains. Okay, good. Selling a property in northern Westchester at the moment, so.
Is it in contract already, or is it?
It's about to go into contract, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep. But this would have been perfect for that because it's not my backyard, and I'm always searching for ways to penetrate other markets when I get a listing. So.
Yeah, your name is familiar. I'm sure I must have seen some of your literature over the years.
You go to the post office a lot. You probably see my picture hanging on the wall.
You're number 3, number 5. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, I was one in all markets at one time, so.
Excellent.
Most wanted.
Yeah.
All right, this is interesting. I'm going to call you guys when I get a little time and when you have a little time.
Okay.
I appreciate your time on the webinar.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is 4 o'clock or a little after 4, and we'll stick around for anybody who has more questions or wants to just chat. But I'm going to end our recording now, and thank you, Andreas, for your time. Thank you to Julia and Andres from my team for helping put this together today. And thank you especially to all those who watched and may be watching in the future during the replay.
Thank you for the questions, comments, and any and all feedback is always welcome.